This is my 2002 CR250R. It didn't look like this when I got it. I've had this bike for probably last Thursday, or this Thursday was just now a week. Like I said, it didn't look like this at all. I bought it from a buddy of mine who I've known for a while. Let me just start off by saying he had it for a while. The motor went out in it. It sat for probably 2 years, and then he got the kit and decided to finally just put the motor together. And he got it was all disassembled, was putting the new crank in it, was tapping up the cases, and it cracked all where the tranny is. So the tranny, I've asked around where the crack is. I've asked around, and it can be welded, but I'll get to that later. So what happened is my buddy had this bike. I told him if he ever wanted to get rid of it, let me know. I'll give him whatever he wanted for it. So he's in his tight situation right now with the truck being repaired. So he hit me up and was like, if you want it, it's yours. I was like, sure. He's like, what will you give me for it? And I offered him. He's like, I can do it. I'll get into the price later. But long story short is, this is not the motor that he had that he cracked. I bought this motor off of eBay. The only thing this motor did not come with was the Kickstarter, the shift lever, and I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't. The exhaust manifold. But my buddy had all that from the other motor, so I wasn't stressed about it. Guy was really cool. Some guy named Cody or whatever. He was asking $12.50 for the motor. Asked him about when was the last time the motor had a top end done on it, or a bottom end, or a complete rebuild. I mean, and he's like, I don't know. He had bought a bike, an '02 CR250. This motor was in it. He said he drained the tranny fluid in it to see if there was any metal shavings or any metal pieces in it. Wasn't. Rode it around, went through all the gears, said it ran fine, no bogging. Then drained the fluid again, yanked the motor out, and he put it in that cooler, and that's where it sat for a couple months, or not a couple months. I think he said like a month and a half, 2 months, if that, until I bought it. He was real cool. Took $200 off so I could put a top end kit in it, which I didn't do. Like I said, my buddy has the complete rebuild, so I just got to go get the top end kit from him. But the bike runs so good that I'm not going to do a top end kit on it until it either loses compression and I can't start it with the Kickstarter, or it just dies out. So that guy was really cool. You're probably wondering how much I paid for the bike. I paid $600 for it, and then the motor was $1,050, so I have $1,650 wrapped into this. So bought the motor on Sunday of not last week, but the week before. Got the motor, got the bike the same day. Motor was in the frame. The bike was completely stripped. It was just a frame with 2 tires and some handlebars. Like, all of this was off. It was just a swing arm, which wasn't even attached, and a frame, and all of this. And it was in the bike, and the bike was assembled in 4 hours, and was up and running in 4 hours. I had a race that weekend. Went and raced it. I do FTR. I do hair scrambles. I'm in the sportsman class. Bike did great through practice, no issues. Did great in the hour and a half race through thick, heavy woods. Did awesome. The only thing I had to do at the race was I had to put a chain on it, and the clutches. I my I uh hadn't I've never rode this bike until that race, so it was interesting to ride it for the very first time. The clutches, though, you'd have the clutch fully engaged, like like that, shift down, and as it was acting as if you hadn't pulled in the clutch at all. It wasn't a big deal. So what I did was I just got off the bike while it was running, started pushing it, and shifted down and rode around, and it was fine. I came back to I did a couple laps around camp, held this in, put it in neutral, or actually I left it in gear and stopped, and the bike was still running. Put it in neutral, it was fine. Then I took off again and with actually using the clutch without having to push start it, and it was did great. Very happy with this bike. I don't have much into it. Um, the only reason my buddy sold it to me is because I promised him I wouldn't get rid of it. He's very attached to this thing, and it was I could tell it was very difficult for him to let it go. It's not perfect whatsoever. Um, the bike, like I said, did not look like this when I got it. I have a lot of time in cleaning this. This frame was not that clean. That swing arm, I know it has some scuffs and whatnot, and yes, I know it's missing the bracket that goes on there. Like I said, this bike was not this clean when I got it. I probably have 3 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours in cleaning it. I wanted to clean it when the motor was not in it and it was in pieces, but we were on a time crunch. It was Thursday night. We were leaving Friday to go to the race. Um, we just didn't have the time. As you can see, obviously, probably you've seen already, I got tires back there for it. I got new tubes. I raced it with these. This tire I can't get to hold any more air than what's already in it. Dog's going wild over there. This tire, I raced with it like this. Missing a knob, chunks taken out of that one, chunks out of that one, gone, chunks, and that one's missing, and the same on the other side. Like I said, there's that rotor's bent. The linkage bearings are just starting to go. They have some play. Fork seals on this thing completely gone. The wheel bearings in the front have a little bit of play. So I mean, it's nothing crazy. But I mean, it's just a couple. You gotta remember, this thing's an O2, and it's sat for 2 years in pieces. So yeah, I bought some. Like at my race, I bought tubes and I bought some tires. Yes, I mean this bike does have some good parts on it. It cleaned up pretty easy. I mean, it wasn't a hassle to clean it. It just in my preference, I want it. It's never gonna be show quality, but I try to get it as close as I can. But I mean, if I really truly wanted it to be show quality, all I'd have to do is buy some new plastics and it would look pretty much brand new again. I don't know if these wheels are bent or not. I think the front one is bent and stuff. It kind of acts like it's bent right here. It looks like it's bent when the wheel spins. But I'm gonna probably order the Tusk Impact wheel kit, where it comes already with wheels, spokes, and a new hub already assembled with bearings pressed in. For the ones I want are 570, and it comes with black wheels, black spokes, and a white hub. I think it'll look really sharp on this thing. Another reason why I want to do that is because these spokes are stripped in there. I'm not going to start it. You know what a two-stroke sounds like, or mostly everybody does, especially a 252 stroke. one nice thing about this bike is, hang on, let me grab a flashlight, which my buddy bought. He spent some money. Is it has, I'm trying not to get a glare. It has electron carb. So if you guys know or don't know, these carbs are jetless. The only tuning there is for it is idle. Other than that, the carb is basically throw it in and rip. I did a little research on it. Called the people at Electron who make that carb and asked a couple questions about it because I didn't really know anything about it besides it just being a jetless carb. I would definitely recommend it, especially if you have jetting issues or just crappy carb. That carb is not cheap by any means. That carb costs $520. It's not cheap. Definitely well worth the money. Some perks of it is it truly, if you've ever rode a 252 stroke, you already know how powerful these bikes are. Especially when the power band hits. But that electron carb, it wakes this thing up a lot, and it, believe it or not, it helps it get way better mileage. Because this is not my first 252 stroke, especially the other one I had was a CR250, same year and everything. I got it from a different buddy, blown up. It needed a cylinder and piston. His, you'd go 2 laps, and it would be like quarter tank. I went 3 7.1 mile laps on this thing, and I still had over half a tank. Yeah, I wasn't in the throttle a whole lot because, like I said, it was thick woods, but there were some good straightaways where I had this thing wide open, or half throttle to 3/4 throttle. I wouldn't say wide open. And I mean, it surprised me at how good a mileage this thing gets. But yeah, so this is my CR250. I know there's some stuff I'm forgetting or didn't mention. Just comment below, like this video, subscribe if you want. I don't really care. I'll also be doing some videos on my truck, and I don't know if you could see it because it's so dark right now and it's raining. I don't know if you can see that. It's 2016 Can-Am Renegade 1000R XMR edition. Do some videos on that if you guys want. Just comment if you do. I can do a walk around on that of the four-wheeler and the truck. But if you want some videos on the four-wheeler, let me know, because next weekend I'm supposedly going. I might be going and trading it in on a different four-wheeler. But yeah, that's what I have. Thank you for watching.